News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Suspended sentences for 3 Grizzly football athletes. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Thursday, November 5th, 2015. Right now we have a cloudy sky. We've got 28 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Missoula Nissan Hyundai. Drive what you want affordably. Stop by Missoula Nissan Hyundai today and find out about America's best warranty with a Hyundai. Our top story this morning, 3 UM football players appeared in Missoula Justice Court yesterday to face charges that had been reduced from felony burglary down to misdemeanor trespassing. All 3 made statements to the court. First, Kendrick Van Akron.
I want to emphasize again, I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about these parents who are trying to protect their family. I'm worried about these 3 little girls who my actions brought fear to. I'm worried about the effect that this situation will have on them.
Next, John Schmang.
First and foremost, I'd just like to apologize to the family that we've impacted, just for them to know that we truly meant no harm, and we really want them to be able to heal. We feel a lot of remorse, and we want to be able to help them heal in any way possible.
And finally, Joey Counts.
Having 2 younger sisters of my own, I could only imagine how they would feel in that situation.
Judge Shane Van Atta issued the following sentence to all 3 players.
For the count of criminal trespass, 6 months jail, all suspended but time served, 80 hours community service, to restitution of up to $16,500 for counseling expenses to be paid through the Missoula County Attorney's Office. Within 30 days of sentencing, defendant shall listen to the 911 call from the incident.
Van Akron's attorney Paul Ryan explained how the sentences could eventually be expunged from their records.
In this case, what the judge ultimately gave was a 12-month deferred sentence, which means after 12-month time period that the court set forth, then he'd be allowed to withdraw his guilty plea, re-enter a not guilty plea, and then the case would be dismissed and expunged off his record.
The University of Montana athletic officials are currently reevaluating the suspensions of all 3 athletes. BNSF Railway says 2 July train derailments, including an oil shipment that spilled 35,000 gallons of crude in eastern Montana, occurred after heat caused the rails to come out of alignment. Accident reports submitted by BNSF to federal regulators shows the derailments in Roosevelt County near the North Dakota border caused more than $3 million in combined damages. No injuries were reported. On July 16, 22 rail cars hauling crude from the Bakken region of North Dakota derailed east of Culbertson. BNSF's report says oil spilled from 5 cars, prompting the evacuation of 50 people. Federal Railroad Administration spokesman Matt Lenner said the accidents remain under investigation. Although all the votes have been cast, Missoula County Elections Administrator Rebecca Connors says the 2015 municipal election is not quite over yet.
At this moment, I would say it's still too close to call on some races. High school bond, I think we have about 180 point spread between the yes and no's. And Frenchtown, of course, there's just a 10-point spread between the for and against. So those are probably the closest ones we're watching.
Connors said there are still 119 provisional ballots left to count, only 2 from the Frenchtown area, meaning the mill levy there will almost certainly face a recount. But that process won't begin until after the canvass next Thursday.
So what first has to happen is we have to count those provisional ballots and add those totals to our current totals and canvass the results to certify the election and finalize those results. And then within 5 days after the official canvass, that person has a 5-day window to be able to petition the school district for a recount.
Well, the method of recount, a little bit complicated. Here it is. If after the final tally, the margin of difference for an item on the ballot is 10 votes or less than a quarter of 1%, voters can request a recount with no bond posted. If the final margin is less than 1/2 of 1%, you can request a recount, but you'll have to post bond in order to cover the cost. Right now, the Missoula High School bond's difference is barely greater than 1/2 of 1%, and the provisional ballots could easily lead to a recount. Montana's in the 5th year of a legal fight to ban commercial sales of medical marijuana, even as attitudes elsewhere appear to be shifting toward more tolerance for the drug. State attorneys asked Montana Supreme Court yesterday to lift a judge's injunction that prevents the enforcement of a 2011 law banning medical marijuana sales. Senator Steve Daines took to the Senate floor last night, or make that Tuesday night, to discuss his work to stop the Obama administration's overreach and its devastating impacts on Montana jobs, natural resources, and agriculture industries, and Montana property rights. He quoted an article previously published by the New York Times.
Farmers fear that the rule could impose major new costs and burdens, requiring them to pay fees for environmental assessments and obtain permits just to till the soil near gullies, ditches, or dry stream beds where water flows only when it rains.
Early yesterday morning, Daines appeared on Fox Business to speak on rights of landowners, ranchers, and farmers across the country.
But the Obama administration's relentless attacks on affordable energy and good-paying union jobs, as well as tribal jobs, continue to hinder innovation. And our farmers and ranchers and local business owners should be empowered to drive local land use decisions, not a bunch of Washington, D.C. bureaucrats that can't even find Montana on a map.
Daines later applauded the Senate's passage of legislation nullifying the Environmental Protection Agency's expansion of the waters of the U.S. rule on Wednesday. Montana is being targeted by a couple of new scams centered around the lottery. May sound obvious, but Montana Lottery Marketing and Sales Director Joe Berg is reminding all Montanans they can't win the lottery if they don't play.
You don't win the lottery unless you buy a ticket. And the scams that have been popping up lately, there's one big one that's been on Facebook recently that hit the whole U.S., where it made people think that if they, clicked this link here, they were going to be entered to win $1 million in either the Mega Millions game or the Powerball game.
Berg said a Helena area man came to the Montana Lottery offices with an envelope and a check from a local bank, but this too was a scam.
We actually had a gentleman come in our office earlier this week with a letter and a check in it, advising them that if he signed off, co-signed this check and sent it off, deposited in his bank account, that he would get some money from the lottery as well. I mean, it looked very legitimate.
So far, no Montanans have reported actually losing any money because of those scams, but be on the lookout. And Billings firefighters had to rescue the Firefighter of the Year after he got stuck in an elevator on his way to the awards ceremony. Sounds like a I Love Lucy episode. The Billings Gazette reports the training officer for the Billings Fire Department, Matt Hoppel, accepted his award Tuesday from the Downtown Exchange Club. He was given a personalized Pulaski, a tool often used in fighting fires. News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today with a chance of showers. A rain-snow mix is expected this afternoon with highs right around 40. Rain and snow tonight with a trace to half an inch. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.